Hello and welcome to another episode of Cyclone Insiders on ISU TV. I'm Zach Williamson, joined with Lester Mwirichia and Brian Birchka. And guys, the calendar has finally flipped to March. The madness is starting to begin as teams are fighting to get their spot in the big dance. Iowa State kind of on the outside looking in right now. Yep. They finished up their regular season Friday, dropping a game to Oklahoma, 81-60. Very lethargic, 6 straight losses. Is this team tired, or are they throwing in the towel?
I think it's a combination of both, Zach. First of all, guys, the roster is low. We've sent how many 7 guys to Oklahoma, and didn't get a single road win this season, Zach. I don't think that necessarily. I don't think they're throwing in the towel. I think it's just the depth that's hurt them in the long run, in the short run even. Not able to be effectively, guys. Not 100% conditioned. Some younger guys are on the roster, but for this team, I saw some really good stuff in Kansas this week. Donovan Jackson, really excited. Saw some warm up shots, and I hope you guys saw that video. But he's really excited, and senior year, Hilton South, ride it out.
Yeah, the Cyclone fans are going to come in herds to Kansas City. It's going to be an exciting time. Brian, do you think this team is running out of gas? Do you think they have one last push in them?
I agree with Les here. It's hard to keep going with such little depth. They're missing Babb, they're missing Young. They're missing crucial players.
Yeah. And then when you add that to the depth of arguably the best conference in the country, the Big 12, it's not all going to work out in their favor. But they're the 10th seed in the tournament, the very last team in the Big 12. They're going to be playing Texas, the 7th seed, in that first round game. Potential lottery pick Mo Bamba is questionable.
Yeah.
Eric Davis Jr. averaging 8 a game. He's also questionable. Yeah. They still are coming off an 8-point victory against West Virginia. Guys, what are the keys to this game? I'll start with you, Brian.
Cameron Lard. If Bamba's not playing, then Cameron Lard has the chance to have a heyday in the paint. Just getting in there, so yeah.
Yeah, he has to be a force. He's been their anchor all season long, Les.
Yeah, and just because Bamba's down, Osolowski's still that big guy that Texas has. But if Bamba's not going, then he's more likely than not going to step in that spot. But if Bamba is out, then I'll definitely be looking for Cameron Lard to execute, to really, against Oklahoma, he only had 2 points. So I think this would be a huge opportunity for him, to really step up as a freshman and really execute and get his points. Because, those guys are big, but Cameron Lard can hang in there with those guys, Zach.
Yeah, he can. And, it's going to be a good game. Every team in the Big 12 conference is good. And I think Texas isn't, going, yes, we got Iowa State. Iowa State is, the bottom dweller of the Big 12, but they're a good basketball team. They've proven that on multiple occasions. They took Texas to overtime at Hilton.
Yes.
It's going to be a great game. Guys, who do you got?
Hilton South. Never doubt us out, Zach. Never count us out of Hilton South. So I'm going to go with the Cyclones. I saw some really good stuff out of freshman Lindell Wigington last week in Oklahoma. There's still some fire in here, guys. I don't think these guys are giving up. I don't think they're throwing in the towel. I think there's still something, a little bit of fight in this Cyclone dog.
Yeah, maybe play with a little nothing to lose.
Really, nothing to lose.
Brian?
It's hard to go against the Clones. Like we said, I don't know that they've got the depth to compete. Yeah.
With Babb, with Young, maybe they are going to be a little tougher of a team for sure. If I had to pick, I'm going to go with the Cyclones, I think, in this one. I think it's going to be a great game. Like you said, depth is something I'm a little afraid of. Also, Texas has a lot to play for. They lose this game, they're probably not in the tournament. That's right. A win, and they probably are. So, they have a lot to play for. It should be a very interesting game. if Iowa State was to beat Texas, how far do you guys see the Cyclones going?
I mean, we'd have Texas Tech next, and we've had their number this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a game, we win that. After that, it'd be West Virginia or I don't know who the other team is.
Yeah, West Virginia or Baylor. I
Baylor.
believe.
And, I mean, those are winnable games. We're on the right side of the
They've
schedule.
beaten both of those teams already.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. I second that motion, Brian. I think, you know, in a tournament like this, momentum is really the key
Right.
to, you know, to getting things done. Now, regardless whether the Cyclones have their depth chart could be a huge factor, you know, because again, the tournament is long and, you know, there's a lot of basketball to be played in a short period of time. But, you know, just those games can wear and tear. But, you know, I'll never count the Cyclones out, Zach.
Yeah, the last time Iowa State played Texas in the first round of the tournament was 2015, and Monte Morris hit that mid-range
Yes.
buzzer beater to advance the Cyclones. They went on to win the Big 12 championship that
Never
season.
count us out,
So
Zach.
never count them out. You know, I'm with you guys. We've seen this team beat, you know, all the best teams in the Big 12 besides Kansas. You know, this team can beat anybody in the Big 12 conference, and that's what's so interesting about this tournament is just the fact that anybody really could run away with it. You know, I seen somebody tweet at Joe Lunardi earlier in the week saying, like, if Iowa State and Oklahoma State go to the championship and Iowa State wins, do all Big 12 teams get
Right.
in? So,
It rearranges
yeah,
some
you got
things,
an
right?
argument there. But if you guys had to pick a team to win the Big 12 tournament, who you got?
I like Texas Tech. I like Texas
Okay.
Tech. I think they're playing some pretty good ball. Has had a few losses, but it'd have to be between Texas Tech and even Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could see Oklahoma getting hot. We've seen that earlier in the season.
Yeah.
They could use something like that going to the tournament.
Yeah.
Brian?
I'm going to go with Kansas. It's hard to bet against
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, true.
But I'm going to throw out a sleeper in TCU.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Okay. You know, I think Oklahoma State's going to beat Oklahoma.
Sure.
I think they could maybe even knock off Kansas the third time. I think that would be crazy. I don't know if it's going to happen. If I had to pick, I'm going to be different. I'm going to go West Virginia.
Okay.
All
I
right.
think Huggins is going to gather the troops. I think they're going to be tough.
And they
down
play
in
good
Kansas
D,
City.
Zach, and they play
good
good
D. Exactly. You know, when you're not shooting well, that's one thing. But if you know your defense is there every night,
Absolutely.
that's a whole nother.
Absolutely.
Lastly, let's just say, you know, the season's probably over unless Iowa State does go on this run. Guys, what is your favorite moment from this entire season?
I got to go with just last week, the Wigington dunk. That was crazy. Sitting
That
at
was a
work and everyone's
slam.
going wild. So that was my favorite moment.
Okay, Les.
For me, was probably the two big wins against Baylor when, again, freshman Lindell put up 30 points. Are you kidding me? As a freshman here at Hilton Coliseum, that was electric, you know, on its own. And then the Oklahoma game where we took out Trae Young and those boys. I was sidelined there with John Walters, and it was special. You see Trae Young, you know, all the Trae Young hype was going on, and he comes down to Hilton Coliseum, and you know he gets knocked down a level.
Yep,
So,
yep. Another freshman, Lindell Wigington, outplays him at
Yeah,
Hilton.
that was awesome.
I think my two favorite moments were probably when Iowa State defeated West Virginia at home. That was a very convincing win, very good win for the program. The other moment, just to see Donovan Jackson bounce back the way he did after the death of his father, that was an awesome moment for all of college basketball. That's going to wrap it up for the men's basketball segment. Stay tuned. We got women's basketball and a lot more. You're watching Cyclone Insiders.
Brilliant, boys.
Good job, guys.
Perfect.
I will not be
All right, we'll shoot it quick for sure now.
To be the first man in space with frosted tips and puka shell necklace. And I will not go viral when my terror is caught on camera when I finally realize that in the vacuum of space, no one can hear you sing. I'm Lance Bass, and I will not be trending today because there is a much bigger story that needs to be heard.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Welcome back to Cyclone Insiders on ISU TV. I'm Zach Williamson, still joined at the desk with Lester Mwirichia and Brian Birchka. And guys, the men's basketball team's still competing, but the women's season has come to an end. They finished 14-17 in the Big 12 tournament. They won their first game against Texas Tech, 74-49, a very convincing win. They fell to Texas, number 7th ranked team in the country by 12 points. Another close battle with Texas. They finished the season hard against Texas as well. Guys, you know, competed very well in the game. What impressed you so much from this game?
How, for me, Zach, how the seniors step up. Emily Durr, it's right here. She finished the game with 25 points. You know, what a great way to go for a senior. Claire Ricketts, you know, she chipped in and contributed. But something that I'm looking forward to, Zach, is some younger girls on the team. Adriana Camber, Bree Johnson, and just some younger girls. Not Emily Durr, Maddie Wise, another freshman that's on that starting lineup. These ladies have been shooting the 3-ball so well. I believe they set a new school record for 3 points made. So I'm extremely excited to see those ladies just, you know, this not the season they wanted, but definitely with Bridget Carlton coming back and a young roster still, I think there's some good things ahead for the Cyclones, Zach.
Brian, what player are you most excited to see play next season?
I'm going to go with Kristen Scott. You mentioned a bunch of names, but Kristen Scott, she's a freshman this year, 156 rebounds. Expect that number to go up and for her to be a force in the paint next year.
Yeah, she had some very bright moments this year and a couple nice plays in that season finale against Texas.
Agreed. Player that stuck out to me?
The player that you're most excited to see play next season.
Okay, I'm gonna stay in the realm of fundamentals and say Bridget Carlton because already she won Big 12. What was the word she won? Big 12. Excuse me, all Big 12. She won all Big 12 first team, and it was a unanimous vote. And again, momentum is something that I really favor. And she's again just being just the ability to, basketball is so easy for her. You know, it looks so easy. She can score at will. All her games this season were in double digits. So, you know, and now that she's a senior, a leadership role, Coach Bill Fenley's always talking about what are you going to leave behind. And I think Bridget Carlton is going to leave a lot of records behind, guys.
Yeah, she is. And like you said, she's going to be the leader for the team next year. They also have a lot of good freshmen coming in. You know, a lot of exciting talent to watch next year. And that leads us to my next question. Is this team going to be a tourney team next year?
I think so, Zach. If they continue, the thing is here, Zach, they'll be getting some size. And something that Iowa State women's basketball is not known for is their size. But they shoot the 3-ball well. So if they can get some size, it helps a lot with rebounding, and that will allow a lot of second chance opportunities. So I think you know, them shooting the 3-ball well can definitely make them a tournament contender next year, Zach.
Yeah, Brian?
Yeah, I think the same thing. They're getting a lot of new freshmen, a lot of size. They're not losing that many seniors either. They can only go up from here.
Correct.
I agree, and hopefully, you know, that passes over to the men's team. I think a lot of people are confident about them. Hopefully both are dancing next year. That'll be awesome. Right. But let's move over to gymnastics. The Iowa State gymnastics team's had a terrific season up to this point. They're 15-2 going into this weekend's tournament, the Masters Classic in Lincoln. They beat Kent State, but they lost to both the 2nd-ranked UCLA Bruins and the 14th-ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers. Both teams very good, scored over 197 points, something Iowa State hasn't done this season. Les had a chance to speak with the seniors before their final meet, which is taking place this weekend. Les, tell me about what it's all about.
Well, so I'm putting together a package for Cyclones.tv that will be played at the meet and on the Jumbotron, of course, but also on Cyclones.tv. And this package, this feature is really highlighting the seniors and the impact they've had this season for the Cyclones. And it's a special senior class because they're all really close. They're all roommates, and you know, sometimes when you bring in that team chemistry and you live together, you share a lot of things together, you spend a lot of time together. It's really tight. And I said it I said it last week on here. If anybody has not been to a gymnastics meet this senior night, you will not want to miss it. Here's the package, Zach.
I would define it as a lot of growth, you know. We've grown into young women and coming in just like young 18-year-olds, and just the experiences we've had just both with gymnastics and outside of that, we've really grown into who we are, and that's brought about our leadership on this team.
First of all, it's been so fun to have a team of sisters who make it fun. I mean, we have the most fun that I've had in my whole life. They're so funny, they're so crazy, and competing out there with them is just a blast. Because
I think being on this team, it's been another family for me. Being from Texas, it's quite a few ways from home, so definitely have that family aspect within that team has definitely been a special part.
We were on the bus back from the last meet, and it was their senior night, and I was just very emotional just thinking about like not having this anymore. And I'm gonna miss a lot of just like the passion and the girls, like everyone being around me is passionate, and I'm passionate about something, and it's just gonna be hard to find that next thing.
My advice is to work through the crud. You're gonna have bad days, not every day is gonna be your best day, but if you just work through it, you keep pushing through, you keep your head up, you keep smiling, and you look to your teammates, nothing else is gonna matter. You're gonna have the best 4 years of your life.
Terrific job there, Les. It was great to see, how the seniors have valued their, experience and time here at Iowa State.
Absolutely, Zach. And for again, like I said, these ladies are a special group, and to see them going into the senior night. I was at practice today, and Kelsey Paz and Dez would not leave the gym until they hit 2 perfect landings on the beam before they left, like 2 sticks, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, and in gymnastics, that's really the big deal. So for going into this meet, a couple keys that I have for the vault, I'm looking for Des, Brianna Ledesma, and Haley Young, who's the anchor on that, to really take charge and just show that senior leadership. For the bars, Hillary Green, she won Event Specialist of the Week 2 weeks ago. So really looking her, again, another senior to anchor for the Cyclones and get it done. For the beam, I'm looking for Kelsey Paz. I'm also looking for Molly Rusk, who's a sophomore, really up-and-comer. She has a really great routine that has potential to score a lot of points for the Cyclones this Friday, Zach. And for the floor routine, which is arguably the funnest thing you'll see these ladies do, Kelsey Paz, Des, of course, and Haley Young, the anchor. That they go right after each other with Haley Young anchoring, Zach, and it's so much fun. And the Cyclones are undefeated at home, so we encourage everybody to come check that out on Friday night at 6:30 at Hilton Coliseum.
Yeah, get out to Hilton Coliseum and support them 25th ranked Cyclones. They could use all the support as, 19 Missouri, that's a good team.
Absolutely,
that's
Zach,
a good team, but very beatable.
Absolutely, Zach, and this will also be a part of the Iowa Corn Cyhawk series, so we'll be taking on Iowa as well, so even more reason to come out and support the Cyclones.
Got to get that dub. Got to get that dub. All right, let's transition into softball, where Brianna Wahlbiker was named the Big 12 Pitcher of the Week. First game she threw a complete game shutout against Virginia Tech, 7 innings, 5 hits, and a season-high 10 strikeouts. Yeah. She followed that up later on in the weekend in a 3-2 extra inning win. Listen to this, 10 more strikeouts through 7 innings and a third, no runs. She left in the 7th inning, not giving up a run.
Yeah.
They brought her out. The game got tied. Yeah. She came back in extra innings where she closed the game with runners on first and third with 1 out, ended it on a strikeout. Overall on the weekend, a 0 ERA, 15 innings pitched. Wow. Led the Big 12 in strikeouts per 7 innings while allowing a 154 batting average.
And won Athlete of the Week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive, I would say. As long as she's throwing like that in a circle, she's going to keep Iowa State in every game.
True. Zach, something that sticks out here to me is the 0 ERA. Yeah. And for softball, pitching 15 innings, like in softball, that's a lot of pitches. Arguably, that can be a lot of pitches. And so for her to see that she's cleaning up like that with a 0 ERA, not only tells me that she's pitching well, but the defense has her back, literally. Yeah. Defense literally has her back, and so it's something special to hear that. But then even take it even further, the Cyclones did pretty well over the weekend, but something that they need to do is get these bats going for the Cyclones.
Oh, they need to wake the bats up.
Yeah, they need to wake those bats up, Zach. And leaving a lot of ladies on base. If you see the scores, it was 3-2 or 0-1. And it's something that the Cyclones just need to get better at. And playing these road games away, down south, in the West Coast, it's something. It's great practice for when they come back to Ames, Iowa, in late March for Big 12 play.
Yeah, and something that's going to help him out a little more. First of all, like you said, defensively, this team's improved a lot. I mean, over the last year, a lot of these youngsters have grown up and they've really, got away from those errors in the field and really make all the easy plays. Like you said, the bat's got to get going. Sammy Williams has been doing it all for the Cyclones, batting .338 with 2 long balls and 8 RBIs. Brian, do you see this offense picking up?
I mean, I'd love to see it. They've shown they can score. They put up 10 runs against Presbyterian, 12 against San Jose State early in the season. They just got to find, what they were doing and get back to that.
And it all starts with, baseballs. They always have the rally baseball and softball. They got the rally. It all starts with a rally, a couple hits, get things going. They'll continue to fight and prep for the Big 12 this weekend in Houston. They got Lipscomb twice, Northwestern, Houston, and Penn State. So that should be exciting stuff. They're sitting at 10-10. Hopefully have a winning record after this weekend.
I agree.
Let's move on to wrestling, where there's one highlight we can go over here. Iowa State redshirt freshman Jared Deegan was the lone Cyclone to qualify for the NCAA championship at 149. Very exciting for him. We wish him the best of luck. He received the 4th seed in the Big 12 championship, wrestled a 3rd place finish. That's an automatic qualifying berth. We're going to find out, where he is in the bracket Wednesday, which is tomorrow night. So look into that and heard on Deegan.
Yeah, good luck, Jared.
Lastly, Lazard impressed at the combine, especially in the 40. He really raised some eyebrows. He's been known as that big receiver. Showed off the wheels a little bit. Brian, overall, how do you think he did?
There was talks about him, moving to tight end, just too big, too slow, whatever. I think he proved himself. He's a wide receiver, and that's where they're going to put him.
He's a wide receiver. We've seen him do it his whole career here in Ames. He is a player.
Absolutely, Zach. I second that motion, Brian. And something that makes Alan Lazard special, seriously special, is he's a red zone threat.
Yeah,
he's a threat. Anywhere inside that 20-yard line, you look up, and Alan Lazard's in. We've seen it time and time again here at Iowa State, and it's not a question that he's going to do it again in the NFL. So Alan Lazard, buddy, I wish you the best of luck, my man.
Yeah, we do. And right now it looks like he's projected around a 3rd or 4th round draft pick. So very exciting. I think he's going to get a shot right away in the NFL. I don't know about you guys, but that's going to wrap it up for Cyclone Insiders. Everybody have a great spring break. I'm Zach Williamson with Lester Muirichia, Brian Birchka, and as always, go Cyclones.